Hi guys, just going to have a look at the homework that I set on My Maths on sampling, okay, and run you through any particular queries you may have, okay. Some of you got alright with it, year 10s, a lot of you didn't actually attempt it, so just so that we're not disadvantaging people as well, it's really important that you're going to go forward and complete the homework that's set, okay. It underpins the knowledge that we've gone over in lessons, and it also fills in any gaps should there be any there. Alright, so it's really important that you complete it. If you can't get onto My Maths, or you've got no access to being able to complete it at home, it's not a problem. Let me know and I will ensure that you can get onto a computer in school and complete it in school. Okay, so that nobody's missing out. Alright, so let's look through it. The biggest problem with stats is most of the questions are very wordy, and you've got to read through and understand what it's actually asking for. So question 1, surveys. Choose the most appropriate survey. So in each of these I'm going to put R, M or S. Okay. To check the weights of the contents are put into 500 gram cereal packets on a production line. Okay. Do I want a random sample? Is there a system I want to use? Is it stratified? Okay. There's one thing I'm checking, and that's the weight of the cereal. Okay. Looking at the second one, survey of pupils in a particular school about the amount of time per week that they spend playing computer games. Okay, so this is a group of people, okay, pupils, in a particular school. Okay, so I might want to think, who am I going to? Is it certain year groups? Is it boy girl? Is there something I need to think about when I'm looking to survey? Okay, and the next one, to estimate the average number shown by a roulette wheel after each spin. Okay, so random, systematic, stratified. Okay, now if we're thinking the easiest one to answer there is going to be the survey of pupils. Okay, there has to be a strategy. Am I looking at different year groups? Am I looking boys? Am I looking girls? I need to have a strategy going forward, so that would be the easiest one to answer. Okay, when it comes to estimate the average number shown by a roulette wheel after each spin. Okay, so I'm doing after each spin. Okay, so do I do a random sample? Do I pick the first 10, a system of 10 random numbers, or a systematic sample? Okay, in that sense, on this one I think I would use the random. Okay, and why would I use a systematic one on the top one? Well, if I'm looking at a random sample, I could use random sampling, pick the 7th box, the 12th box, the 18th box with no particular pattern. Okay, but on this one I've got things that's coming down the line every single time. Okay, so if I pick every 5th box, okay, then there's a bit of a system in it. I'm picking the 5th one, then the 10th, then the 15th, then the 20th. Okay, there is a system in place. Okay, but it doesn't have to be randomly generated. Okay, so these two potentially could be swapped around. So we'll see what the answers say when we answer it. Okay, a forest ranger wants to do a quick survey to check the general health of the trees in his care. Okay, so we've got 60 oaks, 48 beech, 12 walnut, 96 pine, 24 spruce. He has enough time to survey 60 trees, and he wants to do a stratified survey. So there's a strategy behind it, so I want to pick each one in the same sort of ratio that they currently are. Alright, so what we're looking to do then, let's click that. So I'm going to total up the values that we've got here. Okay, so first thing to do is find out how many trees we've got in total. So I've got 60 plus 48 plus 12 plus 96 plus 24 is going to give me 240 trees. Okay, so I've got 240 trees. Okay, I'm just going to use this box just to type in so we're not going to lose that number. 240, but I only want 60 of them. So I want 60 parts of that. So if I divide that by 60, okay, 240 divided by 60 is going to give me 4. Okay, so I want 1/4 of those trees. 1 in 4 I'm going to survey. Okay, 60 over 240 will simplify down to 1 in 4. So how many trees are there? 240 trees. How many oaks should he survey? Well, we know it's 60 trees in total, and we want 1/4 of the trees. How many oaks? 60 divided by 4 is going to give me 15. Okay. And how many pines should he survey? Again, we've got 96. Okay, so we've got 96 divided by 4 is going to give me 24. Okay, so you need to total it first, and then 240 divided by 60. I've got the ratio of 4 there. Okay, so I'm then going to divide each one of these values by 4. So if I wanted to do 60 trees, I would have 15 oak trees, I would have 12 beech trees, I would have 3 walnuts, 24 pine, and 6 spruce. Okay, click on mark it, and again you can see these two that we got right here. Okay, again, like I say, you could do a random sample, but in the context of being on a production line, it makes more sense being systematic. I'm going to take every 10th box. Okay, so question 2. Compare company car parking. A company wants to conduct a survey about the parking arrangements on its premises. They want a stratified sample of 60 people to represent the different viewpoints of men and women, and those who drive to work and those who don't. Okay, here is a summary of how many employees drive. So 70 men drive, 93 women drive, 62 men don't drive, 75 women don't drive. Okay, complete this new table with which will show how many of each category should be in the survey. So again, a stratified sample of 60. I need to know how many we've got in total. Okay, and then I'm going to divide that by my sample size. So again, just a little calculation where I've got 70 plus 62 plus 93 plus 75. That gives me 300. 300 divided by 60 is going to give me 5. Okay, so I'm just going to put my 5 there for a second. Okay, so because that's the ratio I'm going to use, I'm going to look to divide each of these values by 5. Okay, so 70 divided by 5, okay, gives me 14. So 14 men I'm going to survey. Okay, 75 divided by 5, dead easy, going to give me 15. So I'm going to put 15 in that one. Okay, now these two slightly more difficult. Okay, because if I'm dividing by 5, they don't divide by 5 easily. So 93 divided by 5 is going to give me 18.6. I can't ask 18.6 people. Okay, so we're going to round that to, we're going to use proper rounding, so we're going to round that to the nearest whole number. So that's going to round up this one to 19. Okay, then if we look at 62 divided by 5 gives me 12.4, so we're going to round that one down, and that's going to give me 12. Now hopefully if I add these up, I've got 12. Okay, got 12 plus 15 plus 14 plus 19, and that gives me 60 people. Okay, so just take care when rounding, because it may be that you've only got 59 if that went down to 11, if that rounded down to there, and one person missing. Okay, so just take care. You could have a rounding error there. In this case it didn't, so but we always round to the nearest person or nearest thing. Okay, so that would be who I'm going to survey. I would have ask 14 of the men that drive, 12 of the men that don't, 19 of the women that drive, and then 15 of the women that don't, and that's going to give me a representative sample of each of these people, and it's a sample of 60, which is again divided by 5, so it's 1/5 of the whole population. Okay, I'm going to click mark it, and there we go, homework finished. All right, always click see your summary. It tells you what percentage you've got. Okay, ideally you want to be looking for 70%, 65 to 70% as a pass rate. Okay, any problems with any of the homeworks, let me know. Just drop me an email or see me in class, and I can do a how-to video either going through my maths or some examples to try and underpin anything that you don't understand. Okay, always click finish and close. If you finish and close, it locks your score in. Okay, don't click practice. If you click practice, all that happens is it starts the questions again, and it won't record your score. Okay, you can see it's gone back to practice it again. It's exactly the same questions. Okay, the only difference here is it might be that your number of survey trees, so you'd have to then divide that down in a different way. Okay, so always click finish and close, and that's your homework done. Okay, any problems guys, let me know.